What's up, guys? It's Reyes, and welcome to ReyesWorldTV. And today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, as you guys know, or may not know, I am a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. I've been a fan since Kingdom Hearts 1 on the PlayStation 2, and I've played every Kingdom Hearts game. And I've liked a good portion of Kingdom Hearts games. Hell, I've even liked Chain of Memories, which, a lot of people have an issue with, which I don't see why. It's just a different system, but it was really fun. But let me continue. So, I played Kingdom Hearts 3, and I beat it. Now, I don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 is exactly a bad game, but if we're putting this on a rating scale, there's some people that give it 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10s. Me, personally, I would probably end up just giving this straight up a 6.5 out of 10. Now, I know a lot of people look at me and they go, 6.5? What the hell does this game do to you? Now, let me explain. Now, before I get into Kingdom Hearts 3 and explain why I didn't like a good portion of it, let me say this right now. Let me give a little context into how I feel about Kingdom Hearts series in general. I love Kingdom Hearts 1. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. I love Chain of Memories. I love Birth by Sleep. Every other game? No. I did not like 358 over 2. I did not like Dream Drop Distance, and I did not like Recoded. So now that you have that context and, seeing where it is, now let me get into Kingdom Hearts 3. For starters, let me say this. I absolutely hate the Gummi ships. I've hated it since Kingdom Hearts 1. I've hated it since Kingdom Hearts 2. But to me, the Gummi ships in Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably the worst of playing the Gummi ships. And I know a lot of people are saying that's pretty extreme, but hear me out on this. See, the difference between Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and comparing it to 3, the Gummi ships, is that I kind of like the linear aspect of the Gummi ships in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I like the fact that it was just going in a straight path, and you just pretty much just shoot up a lot of things, and you just go to that planet. And the Gummi ships still had a lot of customization in 1 and 2, as well as in 3. So now, why may people think I do not like Kingdom Hearts 3's Gummi ships? Well, it's simple. It's open. I don't like the fact that it's open. I know a lot of people look at me like crazy. It's like, well, it's space. Logically speaking, you could travel around. You could do a lot more than you could do with part 1 and 2. And I get that. I get that a lot. And I see why people may like that a lot more than comparing it to Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. But it's just not me. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that I just wanted to just go straight to the planets, and I had to maneuver all around. I had to make sure I was going the right way. And yeah, you could put landmarkers and stuff like that, but sometimes I forgot, and it could be kind of confusing, and that was my fault. I'm not gonna, hit that strike with the game on that one. That's strictly my, mistakes. But one of the things is, because of how open it is, it kind of forces you to go into battles that you really didn't want to go into. And yes, a good portion of battles you can avoid within the game. But for the 1 and 2 battles that, are boss battles that's in the game. And yes, this isn't really like spoilers or anything, because this has nothing to do with the story. So just letting you guys know right now, just level up your ships whenever you can. The max level I went up to, I think, was like 25. And it was annoying. It's just straight up annoying. Like I said, I don't like the Gummi ships, so having mandatory boss battles within that just really just bothered me. So, moving on. One of the main issues I had with this game, and I noticed this was an issue whenever you go to the beginning of a game, beginning of the world, is that when you go down to the world, you go and you start walking, it goes straight into a cutscene as soon as you start walking. And this may not seem like a big deal for most, but if you're going to go and you're going to land right there, you could save, and then you go straight walking for literally less than a minute, and you go straight to a cutscene. Why not do the cutscene first, and then you could start, exploring the world? It made no sense to me, and I felt like this was at every world. I didn't start realizing this till the very end of the game, and I go, wow, this is the 100th time I went and I landed on a planet. I walked for a little bit, and then it went straight into a cutscene. I don't know if that's just me nitpicking, but that just bothered me a lot. I'd rather it just go straight into a cutscene first, and then let me explore the world, because I'm there on my feet. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go explore the world. Let me see what this is about. But no, it just hits me with a cutscene straight after. And speaking of cutscenes, there are a lot of cutscenes. Now, don't get me wrong, as a person who loves Metal Gear Solid 4, a lot of cutscenes is not bad to me, but oh my god, there's a lot of cutscenes. So that's just a disclaimer for anyone out there who's watching this video and is curious about Kingdom Hearts 3. Just be prepared that most of, the gameplay is mainly going to be your combat. But speaking of the worlds, I have a huge problem with the world designs. Now, one of the things that I did like was the factor of wall running. I love wall running. As you guys know, Prince of Persia, favorite series of all time, wall running is just my thing. It's just my thing. But when you get into the aspects outside of that, a lot of the world is very empty. And I noticed this with a lot of the worlds, excluding, like Twilight Town. Most of the worlds just feel empty. And I feel like a lot of it's just empty, so that way when you get into combat, you have enough space to, dodge around, stuff like that, because there's not really a learning curve with this game. But wow, I realized this, when I was searching in the beginning for, the lucky emblems that you end up finding, or, certain treasure chests, so that way I could have a map. I realized that, wow, most of these worlds don't have really much in them. And because the world seems so very empty and so open, the factor that you have this makes the game seem longer than what it really was. But besides the worlds being empty, in my opinion, I don't care about the worlds that they picked and added to this game. So they added the Frozen world, they added Tangled, they added Big Hero 6, and they continued with the Pirates of the Caribbean, which, that's a hit or miss. I didn't really enjoy it in Kingdom Hearts 2. That was a very world for me. I mean, also another factor of why I didn't like them, besides not watching the movies, is that I just felt like they weren't enjoyable to play through them. They looked nice. That's the one thing I will give Kingdom Hearts 3, is that graphically, the worlds looked awesome. And I think that's why a lot of people, they don't care how open or empty the worlds are when it comes to exploring them. But after just looking of it just being pretty, the worlds are pretty empty. And again, these worlds I just don't care about. It's not like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 where they gave us bangers. They gave us bangers for the worlds. For instance, they gave us Tarzan, they gave us The Little Mermaid, they gave us Halloween Town. But yeah, you don't see those worlds in this game. And I know I said The Little Mermaid world, and I know a lot of people did not really enjoy that world. But you know what? I grew up with those movies, so it does hit a certain nostalgia to it. And I think that's also a problem on my part. I'm not gonna lie, there is a very large bias when it comes to why I don't like the worlds. Overall, I didn't watch the movies, like I said, and I just didn't care. I didn't care for the worlds. And again, it's just, it's so annoying because I know that's partially a bias thing, but also just the stories for each world. Now, I'm going to the next part of the world topic, but each part of the stories for the worlds, besides the important worlds, which I'm not going to say because spoilers, were just not that good. I love Hercules, I love Toy Story, but my God, those stories were just not that good. And I don't know if it was just for the writing aspect of it, and the retelling of the movies and stuff like that, because I know Hercules, it actually retells the actual movie, because if you guys, play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you know that it just hits a little certain aspects of the Hercules world, but realistically it doesn't hit the movie aspect. So it's for each game you kind of got bits and pieces of the movie, and then you finally get the conclusion with the new Hercules world, which I'm fine with. I like that story, but it felt so weird. And I mean weird in the sense of I love the movie Hercules, but then I'm playing the game and I'm just this doesn't feel right. It just feels bad. And the same thing with Toy Story. I love Toy Story. Toy Story is a phenomenal movie. But again, there was a lot of problems I had with it because the writing was just bad. And I don't want to get into spoilers. This is a spoiler-free video, and I don't want to, go and explain in detail why I feel like the stories are bad, but just as a person who beat the game and people who are watching this video, and hopefully you guys beat the game too, so that way you know what I'm talking about. Because again, if you haven't beaten the game or at least got into those worlds, which obviously you should, because they're like the first three, but I guess you'll see what I'm talking about. Because again, just the writings for the worlds it was not that good. But speaking of writings, let me get into this. And this has been an argument with a lot, and I mean a lot, of Kingdom Hearts fans, where it's actually like a great divide. I like to call it the great divide of Kingdom Hearts fans. And that is that the script for the overall game, just the whole game from front to back, is just really poor. It's poor, it's corny, it's really tacky. And I know a lot of people out there and going this saying, well, it's Disney, so, But here's the thing. It made sense for the other games. Now, let me explain this real quick, because I know everyone's like, oh, you're trying to justify it? No. Here's the thing. In Kingdom Hearts 1, it explained why it was a little bit tacky and a little bit corny, and not just excluding the Disney side. Sora was a little kid. He was I think 12? 12 or 13. He wasn't really a teenager yet, actually. So it made sense. It had a sense of, being naive and being, childish. It made sense. But it's funny because when you compare Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 script compared to 3, you realize that 1 and 2 would seem a bit more mature compared to Kingdom Hearts 3. And I think one of the things to blame for that factor is the simple fact that it's just catering to new fans. And I know it's going to sound very, very selfish of me. And you know what? It's my opinion, so I have to go along with it. So I don't like the fact that this game caters to new fans. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I really don't. If I'm going and let's say I'm watching a series, and you have people go into the third game, and realistically it's not the third game, it's more like the ninth, but you have people go into the ninth game, and they're just straight up, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know the story. They only know the stories from the worlds that they're visiting. So it's you get people drawn in from that, and it's easy to catch new players like that. But the main stories that I loved about the Kingdom Hearts series was not the Disney worlds. I'm sorry to break it to you folks, but the Disney worlds were not the selling points for me when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts franchise. It came to the main story. What happens with Sora? What happens to Riku, Kairi? What's going on with Roxas, Naminé? You get my gist. It's the main story, not the world stories that has me hooked. It's the main stories that has me hooked. And I know a lot of people right now, they're listening to this video and they're like, yo, is this guy even a Kingdom Hearts fan? Yeah, I am. But there's so many factors on why, and I kind of lost my track there, but there's so many factors on why the script writing was just not good. It just was not. I remember playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 not too long ago before Kingdom Hearts 3 dropping, and they never really mentioned heart the way that they mentioned heart in Kingdom Hearts 3. When they were speaking about heart in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, well, in the aspects of 1, because of the whole darkness situation, people still learning about the Heartless, that made sense. There was a reason why they kept on mentioning heart in Kingdom Hearts 1, well, besides the whole title being Kingdom Hearts. But Kingdom Hearts 1, it made sense why they kept on mentioning hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2, it made sense because it was the introduction of the nobodies. Because it was oh, well, how did the nobodies get it? It's it's from the darkness of your heart that creates the Heartless. And then, when you destroy the Heartless and your heart gets free, it creates the nobodies. It made sense. And it wasn't corny. It was part of the story that was given to you outside of the Disney worlds. But then when you get to Kingdom Hearts 3, it's oh, well, the power is in your heart, with friendship and stuff like that. Listen, we got that. We got that with the other games. You don't have to keep on specifying it every fucking world. My God. It was really, and you could tell, it just really bothers me how corny it was. It was just really, really corny. Like, just like every time, like in every world, they just always have to specify it. And then, and then one thing that kind of bothered me is that everyone already knew this factor. When you had people coming up, like outside of the Tangle World, Toy Story, outside of the 4 main worlds that you go into, once you get to the next worlds, they start mentioning it. They're like, oh, well, I have my heart, so, I have my friends and they give me power. It sounds like literally a pop punk song. You are playing Pop Punk 3. Kingdom Hearts 3, the pop punk story. That's pretty much what we're getting out of this. And I was like, wow, like, this is a lot. And again, comparing it to the other games, even outside of 1 and 2, like when you had to do like Chain of Memories, like the whole thing was about memories, making sure that you're building up your memories, recoded, the data store. Like there was a lot more factors to the story. And I felt like, again, and I'm going to drive this home because I really fully believe that a lot of the corniness just comes from just trying to get new players into the series and such. That's why you have a lot of people, and I get it has to move with the times and they want to be more current. That's why they use more current worlds from more current Disney films. It makes sense. It makes sense in a business stance. And hey, I get it. I get why they did that as a business standpoint, as a person who understands business and marketing. It makes sense, but I don't care about it. Just simple. I don't care about it. But again, that's one of the issues I had with this game. The dialogue was just so bad, and again, when you go to the main story outside the Disney worlds, like that's like where it's like, yo, like this is getting real. Like every time there was an instant that was not a Disney story, even for the Disney stories that I did like, was really, really good. Like I felt like the dialogue there was so well thought out. It was very well written. And then like when you get to the Disney film storylines, it was just really just cheesy and corny. But again, I don't know how many times I can say cheesy, corny, tacky, and stuff like that without you guys understanding or just getting it. You guys get it. It's bad. And last up, my main issue with Kingdom Hearts 3, and this is where it becomes very hit or miss with fans. Again, the great divide. This is the great divide when it comes to Kingdom Hearts fans. The combat is great. And when I mean great, I mean half of it. All the Keyblade stuff was awesome. Like, how high you could jump, how, you could do more aerial attacks. And you got that a lot, especially if you played 0.2, I think it was, Fragment Passage. I forgot the number exactly, but it's either 0.2 or 2.8 between either or. But so you play that and you got a rough idea on what the gameplay was going to be like. And I was like, yes, this looks awesome. I love the feel of it. And then, now we get Kingdom Hearts 3 and it's so much more fluent. Like, I feel like it was definitely a lot more fluent. They definitely perfected the combat when it comes to this. But now, a lot of people are going, it's like, well, why do you only say half? Well, here's my thing. I hate the attractions. I felt the attractions were very gimmicky, very tacky, and just, again, it was also added in randomly. Like, there was, like, no explanation to why it was a thing. That's also kind of bothered me within the story, is that they just kind of just added in there. It's like, oh, here you go. And it also broke a lot of the continuity in my mind when it comes to understanding Sora as a character for Kingdom Hearts 3, because again, when you first play Kingdom Hearts 3, you understand that, and this isn't a spoiler, by the way, this is, knowledge of the Kingdom Hearts series, but when Sora goes traveling to get his strength back, he's going to Hercules, just to ask him, like, yo, like, how do I get my strength back? But I'm going, and I started playing Kingdom Hearts 3, and the first world, I'm using attractions. And to me, like, attractions is like, it's a big thing. It's a big thing in the sense, like, that's powerful magic. Like, you're, creating, trains, you create, well, not trains, but roller coasters. You're creating the roller coasters. You're creating your teacups. You're creating, the spinny cups with water and stuff like that. But when you go and you get that the first world, it's like, all right, Sora, are you really broken? Do you really need your strength back, or are you just hiding it? And again, that just broke the immersion with, Sora being weak. And yes, you don't get a lot of like the special combo upgrades that I really love when you get towards the end of the game. But again, it's just when you get those attractions early, and I know it sounds weird because I don't like the attractions either, but the thing is that I was kind of forced to use them because you know why? They hit hard. They are very useful. So it's like one of those things that even though I didn't like it, I used them because of the fact is that it helped me out in the long run. And again, it just felt very gimmicky, and I did not like that at all. Also, another thing for anyone who plays the game, make sure that if you have two specials going on at once and you don't want to use the other one, make sure you hit the L2, I believe, because there were times where I wanted to use a different special, but because I didn't switch it because the game didn't tell me, I went and pressed the wrong special. Again, that's a little gripe. I'm not going to hold that against the game. That was probably me when I was like rushing through the tutorials or something like that. But I don't remember it telling me, but that just might be a small gripe on my end. But again, that's just my thoughts and opinions about Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, I still was able to enjoy it. I thought it was an okay game. I didn't think it was great like Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 1 story-wise. But the one thing that Kingdom Hearts 3 does do justice is the gameplay. The gameplay is really good, like I said. I don't like the tackiness about it. I don't like the Keyblades transforming. That's just a personal gripe. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I would prefer to have the dual wielding Keyblades again with the drive system from Kingdom Hearts 2. That's just me personally. Like I don't like the transformation of the Keyblades. That's just my thing. Again, that's just overall my thoughts and opinions about Kingdom Hearts 3, while, making sure this is a spoiler-free video. And let me know what you guys think down below. Comment, share your thoughts and opinions. I know Kingdom Hearts 3 has been a very big divide within the community. There are some people who really love the game. There's some people saying this is their favorite Kingdom Hearts game. With others, like me, on the other hand, we're not, really a big fan of it. We enjoyed the story from what we got outside the Disney worlds, but overall, that's just how we feel. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys like Kingdom Hearts 3? Do you guys not like Kingdom Hearts 3 like that? Do you feel it's a little bit more gimmicky on the other hand? Or do you feel, or just overall, do you like the general enjoyment of the change of combat? Let me know what you guys think down below. And if you don't want to miss out any more videos like this, well, hopefully I'll have more videos with my face on it. I usually don't do videos like this, but again, I just beat Kingdom Hearts 3. I have work in a little bit, so I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible, editing and all that jazz, the good quality videos like I normally do. And again, hit that subscribe button and tune in for another episode of Reyes World TV.